am extremely happy for the opportunity given to me to address you all here today on the occasion of Techknow 2022, organized by All India Manufacturers Organization and members of the organizing committee. Let us stand up for prayer song by Anna University students.
நீராறும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிது தெக்கனமும் அது சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிலமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
Thank you. We are pleased to welcome Shri K.E. Raghunathan, Chairman Organizing Committee, on stage for welcome address.
Very happy morning to every one of you. Today is not an usual occasion. Functions come and go. At All India Manufacturers Organization, we have done more than 1,000 functions. But today is a very special event. What is special? The need of the hour today is the youth empowerment. People study 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. For what? To get the right jobs, right salary, satisfaction, growth, and a sense of achievement, not only as an engineer, but every type of an employee, and to give those employment creation of an employers. We at All India Manufacturers Organization are so grateful to have the galaxy of who is who in creation of the policy towards this, empowering students, empowering entrepreneurs, empowering industrialists. We are so happy to be here amidst all of you. Happy to have Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe sir, the chairman of AICTE. He is a man who has been, I would say, fighting for creating employability in the human resources. Education is one side, but creating them valuation to the society is the other one. When I requested him in Delhi, he was ready, he was willing. He even cancelled his being at the Goa function and said, I'll come to Chennai and go from here to Goa. Extremely happy to have you with us, sir. We have had you many times on this platform. Every occasion has been a special occasion for us, and thank you so much. Mr. Sunil Bartwal, mark my words, he will be the man to be read in the paper every day in few years from now. I have had the fortune in my life of being next to him in many forums, especially in Provident Fund organization, where he held the helms as a Central Provident Fund Commissioner, Chief Provident Fund Commissioner. Now he is the Secretary of Labor and Employment. The first thing he took on was collection of data. We all know how migrant labor suffered during the pandemic. For any solution to be administered, what is important is a scanning and the report. He went on to the eShram portal, which has today crossed 29 crores of empanelment of labor force in this country, informal labor force. Not a small means. An excellent doctor like him would be able to now administer the right prescription to empower them. We are so glad, happy to have him amidst us. Thank you, sir. In spite of your commitments at Delhi, you are here with us today. That shows your commitment to the youth of this country and the pride we have in having you with us. Mr. Krishnan, the industry's additional chief secretary of the government of Tamil Nadu, is not new to us. We at AIMO, or be it any entrepreneur, not only in India, but even in abroad, can never forget his spontaneous hands being welcoming the industries into Tamil Nadu, fostering and furthering the growth of Tamil Nadu in the map of the country. People may have a vision of $1 trillion economy by 2030. When people like Mr. Krishnan is at the helms, we don't see any reason why it cannot be achieved by 2027. Man who works tirelessly, very difficult, but always smiling, caring, and taking care of the entrepreneurs at every point of the time. Grateful in having you with us, Mr. Krishnan. Dr. Karthikeyan, the Principal Secretary of Higher Education Department, is always known to the Chennaites. A man who was in action at Corporation Commissioner and at various avatars in his life, and now as an Higher Education Secretary. The first task which he took on was the changing of the career syllabus and creating employability, a man behind the Non-Mudalvan Thittam, which was conceived and operated by the Honorable Chief Minister, who will be with us tomorrow evening for the valedictory function. We are so grateful to all of them for being here as our guests, but the leading force for the AIMO is our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Velraj. The man whom we look for, a go-to person when we have a problem. Today we had a peculiar situation. This hall can accommodate about 1,200 people. Today we had close to 4,000 people in the attendance here. We were not knowing how do we accommodate. Of course, we are on live in YouTubes and the Facebooks and whatnot, but he made sure 4 more halls are accommodated, screens are put, they are being watched with the event at every location in Tamil Nadu. This is typical empowerment of knowledge. Anna University, being known for a technology solution provider and empowerment of the society, here is our Vice Chancellor showing us the way and leading us the way. No event is complete without Mr. Muniratnam, the chairman of the self-financing colleges, a man whom we all look forward, the man who has empowered many children. More than 1 lakh children have been educated by him in the last couple of years. Proud to have him. None is less unless we have all of you here. We at AIMO, grateful in having you, thankful in your being present here. About 26 speakers speaking on 7 topics today and tomorrow, especially on the areas Mr. Krishnan has identified for Tamil Nadu's focus industrial sectors in the next 5 years time frame. He is looking at creation of 15 lakhs employment opportunities. We at AIMO, through this event of Techknow, have put up a base of a job mail fair, which will also be identifying the talent at the young age, nurturing, mentoring, and hand-holding. We, as the members of the All India Manufacturers Organization, proud in having you, all of you, looking forward to our deliberations in the next 2 days. This is just the beginning. This doesn't end here, sir. We are now taking this kind of sessions of knowledge empowerment to engineers across Tamil Nadu in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities with the consortium of self-financing colleges and with the AICTA across the country. AIMO is a body celebrating 78th year, founded by Sir Visvesvaraya, with 14 state boards across the country with about 3.5 lakhs members of industries. We are here strongly, willfully, passionately to see our next generation leading a happy life. Thank you one and all for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome. Now I request Sri R.S. Muniratinam, Chairman, Consortium of Self-Financing Colleges in Tamil Nadu, to deliver theme address.
நிகழ்ச்சியினுடைய வரவேற்பாளர் அன்பிற்குரிய ஆல் இண்டியா மேனுஃபேக்சர்ஸ் அசோசியேஷனுடைய பொறுப்பாளர் ரகுநாதன் அவர்கள் தன்னுடைய வரவேற்புரையிலே மிக தெளிவாகவும் அழுத்தமாகவும் இங்கே எடுத்து சொன்னார்கள். ஆல் இண்டியா ஃபெடரேஷனை பொறுத்தமட்டில் நாங்கள் ஆயிரக்கணக்கான நிகழ்ச்சிகளை நடத்தியிருக்கின்றோம். ஆனால் அந்த நிகழ்ச்சிகளுக்கெல்லாம் கிடைக்காத ஒரு பெரிய பெருமை அண்ணா பல்கலைக்கழகத்திலே இன்று நடைபெறுகின்ற இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி அத்துணை நிகழ்ச்சிகளுக்கும் ஒரு முத்தாப்பு வைப்பது போல நான் கருதுகிறேன் என்று மனதார இங்கே பாராட்டி அமர்ந்திருக்கின்றார். இந்த திட்டத்துடைய நோக்கத்தை பற்றி சொன்னார். மாண்புமிகு தமிழகத்துடைய முதல்வர் மரியாதைக்குரிய தளபதியார் அவர்கள் நான் முதல்வன் என்ற அந்த திட்டத்தின் வாயிலாக தான் முதலமைச்சராக பொறுப்பேற்றதிலே இருந்து இன்று வரை அவருடைய எண்ணங்கள், அவருடைய சிந்தனைகள் நாட்டினுடைய வளர்ச்சிக்காகவும் குறிப்பாக தொழிற்சாலைகளை அமைக்க வேண்டும், அதிலேயும் குறிப்பாக கல்வித்துறையை நல்ல முறையிலே முன்னேற்றத்தை எடுத்து செல்ல வேண்டும், படிக்கின்ற அத்துணை மாணவர்களும் நல்ல கல்வியை பெற வேண்டும், நல்ல கல்வியோடு நல்ல நிறுவனங்களிலே வேலைவாய்ப்பை பெற வேண்டும், வேலைவாய்ப்பு பெறுவது மட்டுமல்லாமல் படித்து முடித்த அத்தனை மாணவர்களும் தனித்தனியாக நிறுவனங்களை நிறுவி அந்த நிறுவனங்களிலே ஆயிரக்கணக்கான லட்சக்கணக்கான மாணவர்களுக்கு வேலைவாய்ப்பை தர வேண்டும் என்ற ஒரு உயர்ந்த எண்ணத்தின் அடிப்படையிலே இன்றைக்கு அயராமல் உழைத்து கொண்டிருக்கின்ற நம்முடைய தமிழக முதல்வர் அவர்களுக்கு இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியினுடைய சார்பாக நம்முடைய அசோசியேஷன் சார்பாகவும் நெஞ்சார்ந்த நன்றியை நான் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்வதிலே மிகுந்த மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றேன். நம்முடைய முதல்வருடைய எண்ணம் நம்முடைய தமிழகத்தை பொறுத்தமட்டில் அத்துணை துறைகளிலேயும் சிறப்பான மாநிலமாக, ஒரு எடுத்துக்காட்டு மாநிலமாக மற்ற மாநிலங்களுக்கு தன்னை தமிழகத்தை முன்னிறுத்த வேண்டும் என்ற ஒரு உயர்ந்த நோக்கத்தின் அடிப்படையிலே இன்றைக்கு அயராமல் உழைத்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றார். காலையிலே 8:30 மணிக்கு தன்னுடைய வீட்டிலே இருந்து புறப்பட்டு இரவு 12:30 மணிக்கு வரை எத்தனையோ நிகழ்ச்சிகளிலே கலந்து கொண்டு அந்த நிகழ்ச்சிகளிலெல்லாம் அவர் சொல்லுகின்ற ஒரே நான் முதல்வன், நம்முடைய தமிழகம் தொழில் நிறுவனங்களிலே முதன்மையான இடத்தை பெற வேண்டும், உயர்கல்வித்துறையிலே மட்டுமல்ல அத்துணை கல்வித்துறையிலேயும் உயர்ந்த நிலையிலே தமிழகம் வளர வேண்டும், தமிழகத்துடைய மாணவர்கள் நல்ல கல்வி அறிவை பெற்று பல்வேறு உயர்ந்த பதவிகளிலே அமைய வேண்டும், அதன் மூலமாக நம்முடைய தமிழகத்திற்கு ஒரு பெரிய பெருமை சேர்க்க வேண்டும் என்று எண்ணுகின்றார். கல்வியிலே மட்டுமல்ல, தொழிற்கூடத்திலே மட்டுமல்ல, விளையாட்டுத்துறையிலேயே கூட நேற்றைய முன்தினம் நம்முடைய சட்டமன்ற 110 விதியின்படி நேற்றைக்கு ஒரு அருமையான ஒரு அறிக்கையை வெளியிட்டிருக்கிறார். ஒவ்வொரு மாவட்டத்திற்கும் மாணவர்களுக்கு தேவையான அத்துணை விளையாட்டு மைதானங்களையும், குறிப்பாக ஆசியாவிலே நடைபெறுகின்ற ஒரு பெரிய விளையாட்டு மண்டபத்தை நம்முடைய சென்னையிலே நிறுவி நம்முடைய சென்னையினுடைய ஒரு எடுத்துக்காட்டாக மற்ற மாநிலங்களுக்கு அமைய வேண்டும் என்று சொல்லி நேற்றைய தினம் சட்டமன்றத்திலே வெளியிட்டிருக்கின்றார். இப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு உயர்ந்த நோக்கத்தின் அடிப்படையிலே நம்முடைய முதல்வர் அவர்கள் தமிழகத்திற்கு கிடைத்திருக்கிறார் என்று சொன்னால் உண்மையிலே நமக்கெல்லாம் ஒரு பெரிய பெருமை என்பதை நான் மீண்டும் அவரை நெஞ்சார நான் வாழ்த்துவதிலே பெருமையடைகின்றேன். நம்முடைய முதல்வர் அவர்கள் எண்ணுகின்ற அந்த எண்ணத்தை, உதாரணமாக தொழிற்சாலைகளை அமைய வேண்டும் என்று சொன்னால் அதற்குண்டான நம்முடைய தொழில்துறையினுடைய செயலாளர் அவர்கள் கல்வித்துறை, உயர்கல்வித்துறை நிறுவ வேண்டும், மேலோக்கி எடுத்து செல்ல வேண்டும் என்றால் நம்முடைய உயர்கல்வித்துறை செயலாளர் இவர்களெல்லாம் வைத்து அவர்கள் சொல்லுகின்ற அந்த நல்ல கருத்துக்களை மனதிலே ஏற்று நிறைவேற்றுகின்ற வாயிலாகத்தான் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி இங்கே நடைபெற்று கொண்டிருக்கின்றது. இந்த அருமையான நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு மாணவர்களுடைய நலனிலே அக்கறை கொண்டு புதிய புதிய பாடத்திட்டங்களை எல்லாம் நிறுவி அதன் மூலமாக மாணவர்கள் தங்களுடைய கல்வி அறிவை பெறுவது மட்டுமல்லாமல் தன்னுடைய மனதிலே இருக்கின்ற அந்த திறமைகளை வளர்த்து கொள்வதற்காக புதிய புதிய பாடத்திட்டங்களை வருடம் வருடம் வெளியிடுகின்ற மரியாதைக்கும் அன்பிற்குரிய ஏஎஸ்டி சேர்மன் மரியாதைக்குரிய அனில் சரஸ்வதி அவர்களுக்கு நான் நன்றி சொல்ல கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கின்றேன். அவர் விடுகின்ற அந்த செய்தியெல்லாம் இன்றைக்கு தமிழகத்திலே அதை வெளிப்படுத்தி கொண்டு புதிய புதிய பாடத்திட்டங்களுடைய பலனை மாணவர்கள் அடைய வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக நம்முடைய உயர்கல்வித்துறையுடைய அமைச்சர் அவர்களும் நம்முடைய உயர்கல்வித்துறையுடைய செயலாளர் மரியாதைக்குரிய அன்பிற்குரிய கார்த்திகேயன் ஐஏஎஸ் அவர்களும் முழுமையாக தன்னை இணைத்து கொண்டு பணியாற்றுகின்ற ஒரு பெரிய பெருமை தமிழகத்துக்கு இருக்கின்றது. அண்ணா பல்கலைக்கழகத்தை பொறுத்தமட்டில் நம்முடைய துணைவேந்தர் அவர்கள் மரியாதைக்குரிய டாக்டர் வேல்ராஜ் அவர்கள் ஏசிடி வெளியிடுகின்ற அந்த ஹேண்ட்புக்கிலே இருக்கின்ற அந்த பாடப்பிரிவுகளையெல்லாம் எவ்வளவு சிரமங்கள் இருந்தாலும் கூட நம்முடைய தமிழகத்துடைய முதல்வருடைய நோக்கம் நான் முதல்வன் என்ற அந்த திட்டத்தின் அடிப்படையிலே அந்த திட்டத்தை வெளிப்படுத்துகின்ற வகையிலே அதற்காக அந்த பாடத்திட்டங்களை மாற்றி அமைப்பதற்கு முழுமையாக தன்னை ஈடுபடுத்தி கொண்டு பணியாற்றுகின்ற நம்முடைய துணைவேந்தர் அவர்களையும் நான் நெஞ்சார பாராட்டுகின்றேன். இந்த அருமையான நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு நம்முடைய மரியாதைக்குரிய மத்திய தொழிலாளர் நலன் மற்றும் வேலைவாய்ப்பு துறை நம்முடைய சுனில் பரத்வால் செயலாளர் அவர்கள் இங்கே வருகை தந்திருக்கின்றார்கள். அவரையும் நான் பாராட்டுவதிலே பெருமை அடைகின்றேன். இந்த தொழிற்சாலைகளை அமைவதற்காக மரியாதைக்குரிய முதல்வர் அவர்களோடு பல வெளிநாடுகளுக்கு சென்று சமீபத்திலே துபாய் எல்லாம் சென்று தமிழகத்திற்கு பெருமை சேர்க்கின்ற வகையிலே ஏறக்குறைய ஒரு 6000 கோடிக்கு மேலாக முதல்வரோடு தன்னை இணைத்து கொண்டு முதல்வருடைய எண்ணத்தை நிறைவேற்றுகின்ற வகையிலே அதை பூர்த்தி செய்கின்ற நம்முடைய கூடுதல் தலைமைச் செயலாளர் மரியாதைக்குரிய கிருஷ்ணன் அவர்களையும் நான் நெஞ்சார பாராட்டுவதிலே கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கின்றேன். அதே போன்று ஆல் இண்டியா மேனுஃபேக்சர்ஸ் அசோசியேஷனுடைய தலைவர் அன்பிற்குரிய சகோதரர் ரமேஷ் துகார் அவர்கள், அன்பிற்குரிய எம்என்என் ஜெயின் செயலாளர் அரிஷித் மேத்தா அவர்கள், ரகுநாதன் அவர்கள், என்னோடு வருகை தந்திருக்கின்ற அசோசியேஷனுடைய செயலாளர் டாக்டர் செல்வராஜ் அவர்கள், பொருளாளர் பேராசிரியர் டாக்டர் கனகராஜ் அவர்கள் மற்றும் சக நண்பர்கள் அத்தனை பேரும் இங்கே வருகை தந்திருக்கின்றீர்கள். குறிப்பாக அத்துணை தமிழகத்திலே இருந்து அத்துணை பொறியியல் கல்லூரிகளே இருந்து வருகை தந்திருக்கின்ற எனது அன்பிற்குரிய இருபால் பேராசிரியர் பெருமக்களை நான் வரவேற்கிறேன். அவர்களோடு வருகை தந்திருக்கின்ற வருங்காலத்தை நல்ல முறையிலே முதல்வருடைய எண்ணத்தை நிறைவேற்றி வைக்க வேண்டும் என்ற ஒரு ஆதங்கத்தோடு வருகை தந்திருக்கின்ற எனது அருமைக்குரிய இருபால் மாணவ செல்வங்களே, உங்கள் அத்துணை பேரையும் நான் வருகென வரவேற்று நிச்சயமாக இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை பொறுத்த மட்டில் தமிழகத்துடைய முதல்வர் மரியாதைக்குரிய தளபதியார் அவருடைய எண்ணத்தை நான் முதல்வர் என்ற எண்ணத்தை முனைப்போடு செய்கின்ற இந்த ஆல் இண்டியா மேனுஃபேக்சர்ஸ் அசோசியேஷன் அவர்களும் அண்ணா பல்கலைக்கழகமும் அரசும் அவர்கள் முயற்சி எடுக்கின்ற அந்த முயற்சிக்கு தனியார் பொறியியல் கல்லூரியுடைய சார்பாக நாங்களும் உங்களுக்கு உதவியாக இருப்போம் என்ற அந்த உறுதிமொழி இந்த நேரத்திலே தெரிவித்து வாய்ப்புக்கு வணங்கி விடைபெறுகின்றேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
வாழ்த்தியமைக்கு நன்றி ஐயா. தேங்க்யூ சார். With all due respects, I now call upon Professor R. Velraj, Vice Chancellor, Anna University, to speak about this seminar, Techknow 2022.
Respected Honorable Chairman AICTE Professor Anil Sahasrapati, Sri Sunil Barthwal IAS Secretary Ministry of Labour and Employment, Sri S. Krishnan IAS Additional Chief Secretary Industries Department, Dr. D. Karthikeyan Principal Secretary Higher Education Department, Mr. K.A. Raghunathan, Organizing Committee Chairman, Sri T. Ramesh Dugar, Chairman, All India Manufacturers Organization, Tamil Nadu. Dr. Harish Mehta, Chairman, M&M College. Mr. Muniratnam, Chairman, RMK Group of Institutions and Chairman, Consortium of Self-Financing Institutions, and all the managing committee members of this All India Manufacturers Organization, special invitees, speakers for this 2 days events, professors of our Anna University, and all my dear students. Good morning to all. Today it's a great event. As our Mr. Raghunathan told, All India Manufacturers Organization have conducted several events in association with Anna University. But today's event is a special event. More than 5,000 students are going to participate in these two days events, and more than 10,000 students are viewing this program through online. This event, my role is to share all about these 2 days events. Techknow 2022. It is the 5th edition in partnership with the All India Manufacturers Organization. The need of the hour is to assure employability in education, especially in engineering. More important is to convey the young students that there is a large opportunity available if they develop their skill. All these years, educational institutions were imparting knowledge, but now we understood skill is more important than knowledge because the industrial requirement is skill development. So towards that, our All India IACT chairman is also devising the curriculum in a very good way. We are all following that, and the near future will be towards skill development in a large way. In the technical seminar on building employability skills, we have invited over 26 industry experts to enlighten you all. Over 3,000 students are going to view from here, and more than, as I told, 10,000 students are viewing online. This seminar is focusing on 7 sectors which are likely to have huge requirement of technical manpower. The sectors are e-vehicles, renewable energy, fintech, logistic and infrastructure, aerospace and defense, emerging technologies in core areas, how to integrate emerging technologies in core areas, biomedical instrumentation. In this 2 days event, we are going to conduct a project idea, it's already conducted, a project idea competition in which more than 7,400 ideas were uploaded by various college students. And with a team of jury panel, we have selected 5 project ideas which will be groomed by All India Manufacturers Organization, Anna University Incubation Foundation. We have Atal Incubation Foundation. Through that, they will be groomed, and also by the support of SIDBI. The unique part of this event is talent hunt, by which industry will spot the students in early stage, handhold them with the internship, summer assignments, exposure to technology required, and create them employable when they pass out. That is also one of the event. So in the second year itself, some industries, they want to handhold and want to give the required skill during your 3 years journey of engineering. Also, we are conducting a job mela in the adjacent hall, in which over 2,000 job requirements are confirmed. So today 2,000 students will be given job from companies in all core areas, particularly in the core sectors. So dear students, now the time has come to integrate the knowledge and skills into the curriculum with a new paradigm shift. And from traditional teaching and conventional learning to immersion teaching and inductive learning. You should know what is immersion teaching and inductive learning. You try to understand. That is the order of the day. So the teachers should make the students through immersion learning, and students should learn through inductive learning. Our present AICT chairman is creating suitable policy frameworks and guidance so that all technical institutions can follow the right path. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us today, and your presence means a lot for us. The present need is to stimulate the young students' inherent knowledge and innovative thinking, providing soft skills, how to handle the challenging environment, networking, understanding the present market potential, converting the ideas to new business. Also, you need right mentors for guidance. I thank all the secretaries. We have 3 secretaries assembled here. It's a very good event. Secretaries, 3 secretaries sitting in the same dais. I thank all the secretaries who are on the dais who realized the above need and creating a remarkable transformation in the society in a large way. My dear students, this is the right chance, right platform for you all to learn where technology is headed and how that will impact your career and business in the future. Meet with the industry leaders. There are 26 good eminent speakers are going to give very good talk on different areas. You meet with all these industry leaders, including CEOs, CIOs, decision makers, managers, and engineers in industries during this event. India greatly relies on youth force and your services to progress the economy. So India is depending on your youth force only. Techknow 2022 is actually an energy drink for students to understand, harness, and utilize their own potential in a right manner. On behalf of All India Manufacturers Organization, I want to convey all the students in one statement. Learn to sell yourself, learn to build. If you can do both, you will be unstoppable. My dear students, when your ideas impact the society, then you may turn as a scientist, innovator, or an entrepreneur. When your ideas impact next generation, then you will become a great leader. I wish all the students to turn into an inspiring leaders in the coming days. With the concept of Satyam, Nityam, let's attain the Puranam in all our goals. Valga Tamilagam, Valiya Bharadam. Thank you for the organizers for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for sharing various insights about this seminar. Now it's felicitation time to honor our guests. I now call upon Mr. Ramesh Dugar, Chairman, All India Manufacturers Organization, Government of Tamil Nadu, to felicitate Professor Anil Sarashrabudde, Chairman, AICTE. I now call upon Professor Velraj to felicitate Mr. Sunil Bartwal, Secretary, Ministry of Labour and Employment. I now call upon Mr. K.E. Raghunathan, Chairman, Organizing Committee, to felicitate Mr. S. Krishnan. I now call upon Dr. Arish Mehta, Senior Vice President, All India Manufacturers Organization, to felicitate Dr. Kartigeyan, Principal Secretary, Higher Education Department. I now call upon Mr. Radhakrishnan to felicitate Mr. Muniratnam, Chairman of Self-Financing Colleges in Tamil Nadu. Thank you, sir. With all due respects, I wholeheartedly welcome Dr. D. Kartigeyan, Principal Secretary, Department of Higher Education, to deliver special address.
Most respected Chairman of AICTE, respected Secretary Government of India, Labour and Employment Ministry, respected Additional Chief Secretary, Industries Department, respected Professor Velraj, Mr. Raghunathan, who is tirelessly organizing this excellent event, Mr. Ramesh Dugar, all office bearers of All India Manufacturers Association, faculty members of Anna University, several educationists who are assembled here, press friends and dear students. I welcome you all. As Secretary of this Higher Education Department, it is my pleasure and duty to welcome the Chairman and Secretary to Government of India and all of you to this great university and to this great event. Most of you may be aware that Tamil Nadu stands tall and first in gross enrollment ratio in the country. Its GER is about 51.4 as per 2019-20 All India survey. If you take a survey today, it should be around 54. That's my opinion. We have 573 engineering colleges, the most in any of the state. Per lakh population, the number of colleges, again, in India, we are number one. About 1.2 lakh students join and graduate. The fourth year they graduate. Every year they join. The number is about 1.2 lakhs every year. So we have a fairly strong human capital and very strong, very good infrastructure in higher education institutions. This alone is not enough. All this is fine. We have a wonderful human capital and we have excellent universities like Anna University and several other institutions built by Mr. Muniratnam and many of you. But all this will fructify only if the industries take the students and then, as Mr. Raghunathan said, when they give proper job with proper salary and proper security. That is the ultimate thing. Or the graduates who graduate here should become entrepreneurs on their own, and then they should give employability and they should give employment to further students' community. And ultimately, they should contribute to the country's growth. All this will happen if events like this are arranged by the university as well as by the IMO. So I really thank the Vice Chancellor and IMO office bearers, especially Mr. Raghunathan and Mr. Ramesh Dugar, for putting a lot of effort to make this event a mega success. We could see, as I entered the university premises, I could see students everywhere. I didn't expect that it's going to be such a large gathering. And I really thank all the students for coming here with a lot of hope. I'm sure your hope will not get disappointed. You will all tirelessly work and prove yourself so that industry's expectations are met. I'm told and I am really overwhelmed that IMA, with this event, is going to offer more than 1,000 employment, 2,000 employment. So in these 2 days, imagine, with a lot of hopes, you guys have come. Among you, 2,000 of you are going to get employed. Isn't it a big thing that AIMA is doing? So a big round of applause for AIMA and all their office bearers. And while we celebrate and be happy about these events, we also know, we meaning the officers of Higher Education Department and the Vice Chancellor and the faculty members of this university, not only this university, all other state universities, we know that there is still a large gap between industry's expectations and the quality of students that we produce. And there's still a large gap between the emerging technologies and the new technologies that are available and the kind of syllabus that we have in our university curriculum. Realizing that, sir, this is for the chairman's information and the Secretary Government of India's information. We have conducted in the same hall 4 weeks ago. Our Additional Chief Secretary Industries was very pleased to attend that also. We had a wonderful day-long workshop with industry partners, with representatives from even HR department, because who know what is the requirement, what is the gap, and all other faculty members and student alumni and one bright student. We had formed 10 verticals and had a day-long workshop, which has turned out to be a grand success. And the Vice Chancellor and his team is working on revamping the syllabus to match at least 75 to 80% of the industry's needs. That is happening in a large scale. I'm sure it will get concluded very soon, and we will seek the AICT's support also for that. We are also realizing that the students need hands-on experience. For the first time, the Tamil Nadu government is starting giving internship. So they will have 1 month internship, all our engineering college students and polytechnic students. 10,000 of them will get internship this year. It's a very structured internship. It's not like for namesake, 1 week visit and all. It's a 30 days structured program with proper budget. And in fact, our ACS Industries, who is sitting in Industries Department now, is the one who wholeheartedly sanctioned this for the welfare of the students to the tune of about 16 crores. The cost is 16 crores. It's going to happen in this vacation time. And in continuance of that, already Mr. Muniratnam has mentioned it, and our Vice Chancellor has also touched upon it. Our Honorable Chief Minister on 1st of March has launched his path-breaking scheme called Non-Mudalvan Scheme. Through that, we are going to improve the skills of the students, not only students, even those who are outside the college community, college ecosystem. It's going to come up in a large scale. Mr. Muniratnam said, we will also join the government and do it. Not that you will also join. You should only be doing it. We will be coming to institutions like yours, and we will be using the Anna University's faculty members. We will be using experts from industries, and then we will definitely seek your help and to make it a grand success. It's all being planned out. It will be rolled out very soon. So I request all the education institutions, correspondents who are assembled here to help the government in a large scale. So therefore, this 2 days workshop that AIMO and Anna University is planning to do, I understood that there are a lot of eminent speakers who are going to come and talk to the student community as well as the faculty members here. I wish this event a grand success, and I'm really happy that our Honorable Chief Minister has consented to come here tomorrow. In fact, there was a minor query yesterday because the Honorable Supreme Court Chief Justice is coming here. I checked up with the Office of the Chief Minister. They said that no, definitely the Honorable Chief Minister is coming here at sharp at 5 o'clock. So we are looking forward to receive the Honorable CM tomorrow and be part of this event. With these few words, I really thank the AIMO organizers and the Anna University Vice Chancellor and all the faculty members for organizing this in a grand manner. I wish this program a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind address. It's a pleasure for me to invite Sri S. Krishnan, Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Industries. I request you, sir, to give away a special address.
The chairman of the AICTE, Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, my good friend and colleague and Secretary of the Ministry of Labour and Employment, Mr. Sunil Bartwal, my friend and colleague, the Principal Secretary, Higher Education, Government of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Karthikeyan, Professor Velraj, Vice Chancellor of Anna University, Mr. Raghunathan, the Chairman of the Organizing Committee, Thiru R.S. Muriratnam, the Chairman of the Consortium of Self-Financing Colleges in Tamil Nadu, Mr. Ramesh Dugar, Mr. Harsh Mehta, Harish Mehta, representatives of various educational institutions, teaching faculty, and above all, students of various colleges of Anna University. It's a great pleasure to return to the same auditorium within a matter of a month to attend another event where we actually see policy being executed in practice. For the government of Tamil Nadu, at least as far as my department is concerned, the Industries Department, which has recently been renamed as the Industries and Investment Promotion Department, the primary intent of facilitating and enabling new industries to commence operations in the state is to create more jobs, create more opportunities, create better quality jobs so that the human resource of the state is fully harnessed. A month ago when I spoke in this auditorium, I made the same point that given Tamil Nadu's demographic character, the next 10 years are absolutely crucial. We have to utilize our demographic dividend to the fullest extent and ensure not only do the youth in the state get good high quality jobs, but at the same time, the youth of the state also fuel the growth of Tamil Nadu's economy in a manner that ensures that we are in a position to meet our goals of being at least a high middle income economy, a high middle income state before we settle into a lower growth phase. So we really have to make this significant effort to fuel high growth, and that is where an event of this nature is really significant. Government intends that industry and academia need to interact together and find ways to make education more relevant, produce more employable graduates, and ensure that they find jobs quickly. I compliment the All India Manufacturers Association, and I'm pleased to learn this organization, which has been in existence for more than 80 years, was founded by none other than Sir Visvesvaraya, who was for whom the Engineers' Day is celebrated across the country. And it's very significant that an organization founded by Sir Visvesvaraya is organizing this event in Anna University, which is in this campus, which is probably the oldest engineering institution in the country. It's very significant. It's history in the making that these organizations are coming together to take you to a newer age. And this entire event over the next 2 days focuses on the newer sectors of the economy. These are all the thrust areas in the state's industrial policy, whether it is e-vehicles, whether it is sustainable energy systems, whether it is application of technologies, emerging technologies, IoT and so on and so forth, or it is biomedical, aerospace and defense, fintech, and logistics, all of these are emerging sectors of the economy where considerable emphasis is being faced by the government today. And the logic of that is twofold. One, today, Tamil Nadu is one of the leading states, leading industrialized states in the country. Our goal is to take that process of transformation further. Our goal is to increase the share of manufacturing even further in the economy. It is currently about 25%. We want to push it to about 1/3 of the economy. At the same time, our goal is also to ensure that there are better, higher value added quality jobs for the students of the state. We need to cater, as the Principal Secretary Higher Education pointed out, we need to cater to a broad range of economies. We are encouraging industries which provide large employment out in the rural areas. That is important in its own way. Equally, for people with aspiration, for all the young students who are present here today, who are looking for higher quality jobs, we have to ensure that we have enough organizations, enough companies and others starting up their businesses here to absorb the high quality human resources of the state. When we speak to investors and when we talk to them about why they should invest in Tamil Nadu, or when we ask them why they are in Tamil Nadu, and a lot of people think it's all about incentives and what we offer in terms of taxation incentives, fiscal incentives and so on, the first answer that I've invariably got, and not just in my present position, but even earlier, the first answer that you always get is, we are here for the human resources. We are here for the quality of the human resources that the state offers. Very often, especially graduates like you, students like you, even if you're not fueling it here in Tamil Nadu, you're fueling it in many of the neighboring states. We know for a fact that the human resource base, whether you take in emerging sectors in Bangalore or in Hyderabad or any other place in Tamil Nadu, there's a substantial chunk of students who are either from Tamil Nadu or who've been educated in Tamil Nadu, who are fueling the growth elsewhere in the country and even elsewhere in the world. So this quality human resource needs to be utilized for the growth of not just the state but the country. And we are in a position today to actually offer, through events of this nature, an opportunity for a meeting of minds. It's really a bridge. The opportunities are there for employment. The students are here. How do you make this bridge? And I also really appreciate that there is a kind of a twin focus, partly on entrepreneurship and partly on employment. Both of these are important. Sometimes we get lost. Today is a startup world. Yes, I'm all for startups and startups need to be there, but not every one of you is going to become an entrepreneur. Some of you need to. In every batch of engineering students that pass out in Tamil Nadu, I guess the number in Anna University must be about, a cohort would be about 1.5 lakh or 1,25,000. Probably 1 or 2% of that 1.5 lakh or 1,25,000 will become entrepreneurs. Every year we can probably support 2,000, 3,000 entrepreneurs in the economy. But those 2,000, 3,000 are the ones who would be giving jobs to a sizable number of the others. Everyone has an ambition of becoming a unicorn. It's a good ambition to have. It's a good way to work in that direction. That is something that this two-day event would also be speaking about. But equally, how do you also provide the employment? How do you provide quality jobs? How do you ensure that they are meaningful jobs where people would want to stick on is an important element. I'm also informed that many of the jobs would be with MSMEs, which in a sense are also startups. Many of those jobs will be in the manufacturing sector, which again is critical. Talent like yours applied to smaller units and industries can actually allow them to grow. We have an economic situation today where it's no longer a compulsion for an MSME to remain an MSME. Tax laws have changed. With the new GST laws, you can grow and it doesn't make any difference. You don't, unlike in the old excise duty regime where there's an incentive to stay small, there's really no incentive to stay small anymore. even MSMEs can aspire to grow. So even if you start your career with an MSME, there is a huge opportunity for growth. These are opportunities which the event today will be showcasing to you, and I'm sure that many of you will take this opportunity, take it as an inspiration to work in many of these companies, fuel their growth and fuel the economy as a whole. That is the important contribution you'll be making. Many of you, even those of you who go abroad, eventually return and contribute to this growth. So we will be looking to all of you. The future really lies in your hands in the way that you take it forward. And I really must compliment both AIMO and Anna University for having organized an event of this nature. Tamil Nadu is already the second largest economy in India. We are moving faster. We are looking for a growth rate in the teens over the next 10 years or so. All of you will contribute significantly to that. Whether you set up a new enterprise or whether you work in an existing enterprise, you will contribute significantly to that. Make the vision and the policy that the government has, which is, after all, an articulation of what in a democracy the people have sought, make it a reality by taking this entire enterprise forward. And let me again thank Anna University and IMO for organizing the event and inviting me thoughtfully to join you on this occasion. I wish them all success over the next couple of days, and I'm sure you will have a lot to report when the Chief Minister is there at the valedictory function tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I also extend a warm welcome to Sri Sunil Bartwal, Secretary, Ministry of Labour and Employment, to deliver the keynote address.
So, namaskar and good morning to all of you. Professor Anil Shastra Buddhe, Chairman AICTE, my good friend, colleague, not only a college mate, but also now we are in the same service, Mr. S. Krishnan, the Additional Chief Secretary, Industries, Dr. D. Karthikeyan, Principal Secretary, Higher Education, Professor R. Velraj, Vice Chancellor, Anna University, Mr. R. S. Muni Rathinam, Chairman, Consortium of Self-Financing Colleges, Mr. K. Raghunathan, who is not only the chairman of this organizing committee, but is also an honorable member of our Central Board of Trustees of EPFO, where I used to be the CPFC. And I remember every time how energetic he was whenever we used to discuss policy issues in EPFO or the issues of making life easy for the workers as well as ease of doing business for the employers. And he has always been very energetic on these matters, and I'm very happy that, in fact, he told me that you have to come here, although he was aware that we had Civil Services Day 2 days back, but he forced me to come here, and I'm very glad that I'm amongst you. I'm forgetting, anybody I'm forgetting? Huh? Okay. The faculty members of Anna University. I'm very happy that this event has been organized by Anna University in collaboration with the employer organization here. And I'm very glad to hear that not only this will be a 2 days conference where the futuristic jobs will be discussed, but you are also organizing a job fair where almost 2,000 students or the job seekers will also be getting jobs. We in the Ministry of Labor and Employment, we are very much concerned about the employability of the youth of this country. When I looked at the National Career Service Portal, which perhaps you might have seen, the erstwhile employment exchanges were conversed and Honorable Prime Minister in 2015 created a portal, digital portal, which is called NCS, where both the job seekers and the job providers, they can come together. And when I looked at the NCS portal, on the one hand, I was very happy to see that not only 5 crore job seekers registered themselves, but almost 1 crore vacancies were also posted over this period of time. But one thing which I saw, and therefore, we are trying to look at the policy framework, was that there was a mismatch between the skill set which the employers were looking forward to and the skill sets which were available with the job seekers. And then we realized that unless and until, and which Mr. Krishnan also mentioned, Mr. Karthikeyan also mentioned, that unless and until the skill profiles can match, employability cannot improve. And when we look at the skill sets, we also found that it starts from the education. So not only the kind of engineering degree which you have taken, but also other kind of skills which you have learned, whether during internship, whether during apprenticeship, or while on job. So unless and until these two match, the employability in this country will not improve. And a lot of youngsters, I see, they see that their qualifications match, but when they participate in the interview, they find that they have not been selected. And one very important reason which we have found is that the soft skills are lacking. Many times, soft skills are lacking. Today, the engineering degree is not just a degree to do some civil work. But I also know that an engineer is recognized for the skill set which the person has acquired during the college. And sometimes that skill set is being used in the financial technology, in the fintech sector, in consultancy sectors. And then you will find that many of the engineers are going into diverse fields. And that is the need of the hour, because when we looked at the future of work in the ministry at the policy level, we have found that the future of work is going to be very, very diverse, very multifarious, and constantly changing. So your job profile today may be one, but after 2-3 years, your complete job profile, the demands for your job profile will completely change. You are no longer bound with one particular company. No longer are the days when somebody joined a company, worked for the whole career in that particular company and retired from that company. Even the company's life cycles are not that long. We don't have those companies now which will work for 100 years, 50 years, what you used to hear about the American companies. Even the companies, if you look at the startups, they come there, they work for 3-4 years, then they hand it over to a larger company diversifies, it moves to another company, and so therefore, your employability has to be not only over your whole life cycle, but also across wide spectrum of companies. And therefore, the skill set which you are going to acquire becomes very, very important. So what Government of India is doing on that? You must have heard in the last budget that we are going to now merge and collaborate and link the NCS portal with the ASEEM portal of the Skill Development Ministry, so that when you apply on NCS and if you have learned any skill under PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana or under any apprenticeship or under any internship which you have done, that data will be loaded on the NCS. We are going to make it the LinkedIn profile for our blue-collar workers too. Engineering graduates who are coming here, they must be putting their job profile on the LinkedIn, and so therefore many HR companies can see their profile. But for the blue-collar workers, and in fact, I'm glad that Mr. Raghunathan agreed that not only the engineering students should be present here today, but also the students from the ITIs and the polytechnics, because that is the huge mass which is coming into the job market. Mr. Krishnan rightly mentioned about the demographic profile. If you look at the country's demographic profile, we have a huge demographic dividend. 64.4% of our population is in the working age group of 15 to 59 years. And every year, almost 1.2 crore enter into the workforce. Of course, 50% join as workers. And the LFPR, particularly if you look at the women LFPR, it is quite low. But it also shows that there is a huge potential to increase. So what I feel that to utilize this demographic dividend, we need to collaborate. And the collaboration has to be between the institutions, which are the educational institutions like the engineering colleges, the technical institutions, the institutions which are running the apprenticeship programs and the internship program, the industry, because they have to look at, what kind of course curriculum you had and whether that is relevant to that industry or not. Because the future of work is completely changing. If you look at the platform economy today, it may be only 1.5% of the total workforce. But there are studies which are saying that in next 5 to 10 years, it may reach 15%. And it is going to offer huge opportunities to everybody, not only to the self-employed, but also to the micro-entrepreneurs. Micro-entrepreneurs, as my friend was saying, Christian was saying, that they may not be having the economies of scale. But if they work on the platform economies, if the platform is large, then many micro-entrepreneurs also flourish. And they get the economies of scale. And in fact, the movement from self-employment to wage employment or to a job employment, the days are gone. Now, one day you may join a job, you may recognize an opportunity, you may start your own startup, own entrepreneur. After successfully running it, you may hand it over to a large company and then again go back to your original job. So the whole future of work is changing and we have to be ready for that. I would only request that today it's a very opportune moment that not only AICTE chairman is present here, not only Education Department of Tamil Nadu is present here, not only Industries Department of Tamil Nadu is here, and all the engineering students and the faculty members are sitting here, and the Manufacturing Association of Tamil Nadu is here. I think this is a good opportunity to introspect and look at whether our course curriculums are preparing our students for the future jobs. I will give you another example. We recently signed COP26, and there is a huge emphasis now going to come up on the green jobs, which means that renewable energy will be a focus. Now the whole manufacturing canvas is going to change. And are we preparing our students for that transition? Are they going to learn how the solar energy, the wind energy, the e-vehicles, and I'm very happy that you have kept a seminar on that, a session on that. So is our curriculum ready for that? Secondly, gone are the days when the curriculum used to run for 10 years, 20 years, the same curriculum. Krishnan and me have studied in Stephens, and we know that the economics curriculum was based on what was taught in 60s and 70s. Curriculum these days have to be changing ones. So therefore, they have to run in modules. And the module has to get updated every year as per the new information. And Government of India, in fact, is now using the iGOT kind of platforms. On NCS, we will be putting certain courses, modules, certain e-learning courses, so that people can be updated in their field. I do not want to take too much of your time, but I definitely feel that this is the time to introspect, and this is the time when we can come together. And all the institutions, whether the educational institutions, the engineering or the technical institutions, the skilling institutions, and the job providers, that is the industry. In fact, if you look at our internships, even our internships are left to the students. Many times, the students come to everybody and they tell that, can you get me a job, can you get me an internship over there? Why can't? The internships are initially tied up with the industry by the institution itself. Why it is left to the students to fend for themselves? So I think the whole approach towards internship has to change. Whole approach towards apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is must in many countries, but in our country it is hardly done or becomes very is optional. So I think we need to get into these issues, and I think this is the right forum to do that. I am very thankful to Mr. Raghunathan, the organizing committee chairman, and the Vice Chancellor of Anna University for giving me this opportunity. And I hope that all these issues will be deliberated further. It is very difficult to put all your thoughts in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but I think you should be working on these thoughts, and the takeaway should be that how to improve employability in this country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your keynote address. Now we welcome Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICTE. It's a moment of extreme pleasure to hear your inaugural address. Please, sir.
Vanakkam, namaskar, good morning to all of you. We have a very eminent people on the dais here, starting with Barthwalji, who is the Secretary for Labor and Employment, which is very, very important. Sunilji, you are here in the midst of a very important gathering here. We are thankful to you for that we have both come from Delhi for this purpose. Sri Krishnan, who is the Additional Chief Secretary for Industry Department of Tamil Nadu, another important area for this particular convention, which is being held for 2 days. And connecting both of these two people with another secretary, Principal Secretary for Education, especially higher education, which is directly related with both employment on one side and industry on the other side. So this trinity we say that Triveni Sangam, so this Sangam has happened here. And the best place to happen is a university, one of the old universities with its roots in the oldest engineering college of the country, the Guindy College of Engineering. See, Dr. Velraj, Vice Chancellor, is also here. And to connect all of these people, there's a fantastic person, Sri Raghunathan, who's my good friend for a very long, long time. We had some interaction on email, a lot of debate, discussion, and starting with employability of graduates to how we provide opportunities to students, we have been discussing all the time. And he's also on the internship committee of AICTE. That's very, very important. He represents All India Manufacturers Organization, started by none other than Sri M. Vishwesharaya, who was a great visionary engineer of our country. And then we have a very thorough gentleman here, sitting there in the corner. That is Muni Ratnam, who is not only running his own set of institutions, but heads all the self-financed colleges of Tamil Nadu. It's very important. Number of government colleges are limited. A lot of education is being imparted through the private self-financed institutions. Their representation on this platform was very significant and important. And we have both Ramesh, who is the part of the IMO, as well as Subhash, Harish Methaji, and all the principals, heads of the institutions. Some principals are also directors or what we call as heads of the departments from various engineering colleges in the state of Tamil Nadu, faculty members, and most important, our young students who are looking forward for this 2 days event. What is there in store for them? And many things are in store for them. There are 7 important sessions. Each one of them are so significant from the point of view of employability, be it the sector of e-vehicles. Today we are all talking about one side environment. To protect environment, our diesel and petrol vehicles have to be phased out and we need e-vehicles in place. And there are a lot of challenges in terms of new technologies that are arriving, be it the battery life, how we can charge faster so that we can have a longer distance traveling possible with the same vehicle. That is one side. We have energy and environment, especially when Secretary talked about COP26, how in the next 40, 50 years, we are not going to be just carbon zero, but net zero, and therefore how all transactions in industry are going to transform. And for that, environment as well as energy, especially renewable energy, is going to play a very significant role. We have logistics, which is catching up. In fact, large number of jobs are going to be available in the logistics sector, and that's why that is another area which has been taken up. We talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Prime Minister every now and then is talking about Atmanirbharta. We want to become self-reliant. A self-reliant India is not possible unless all states are self-reliant, Atmanirbhar. All towns and cities are Atmanirbhar. We go back to Gandhiji, who wanted to have each village to be Atmanirbhar. And to do that, there is a lot of input required. And most important input is how do we avoid importing very expensive things, whether it is biomedical instrumentation or whether it is our defense equipment. They are very, very expensive. And how we can create manufacturing of all this from out of our own country. I'm very happy that this year the finance minister has announced 75,000 crores for semiconductor industry. This is one bus which we missed. All the students in the campuses, they vie for getting a job into some IT sector, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, we have several of them. We do get jobs from out of them. But have we created any product of our own? We have been very good in service sector. We called ourselves as IT superpower. starting from TCS long ago in 60s. But have we created any product? What is that is missing? And especially in manufacturing, at least in auto sector, in terms of some of those plants like steel plant, we have been doing something or the other. But when it comes to the defense sector, when it comes to aerospace sector, we are still to catch up. And that is where this particular session is also going to be very crucial and important. I'm sure there are a huge number of emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, robotics, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality. We have which we are all talking about today in terms of whether our degree certificates are also posted on a portal which can be validated very easily. Similarly, the certificates of the students. All of this is creating golden opportunity for our youth. There are on one side opportunities, but if our curriculum, like Sunilji was rightly pointing out, if the curriculum itself is outdated, in the St. Stephen's College, if economics was taught in the 60s era, in the 2021-22, I think they will not get jobs. And therefore, curriculum needs to be revised not once in a decade, once in 4 years, 5 years, but every year. Why every year? Even every semester. There are courses which are there in the curriculum, but there is some change which is happening in each domain of knowledge, how one of the units may be advanced, may be put in more. That is the spirit of curriculum development as a constant dynamic process and not a static process. And unless our universities, our colleges, autonomous colleges, they start thinking about this, and for doing all of this, unless we empower our faculty members in all of this, in understanding how do they create a curriculum which is very important for the future. Future jobs are changing. We need lots of activities to happen in our institutions. And that is where AICT started playing a big role in the last 5 years. Quite often, many times, I receive sometimes comments that not a single day goes that there is no mail or 2 mails which come from AICT to do something or the other. Maybe some principals may be deleting our mails, but most of them read them and take action on them. And that is a pleasant thing which I have been sharing. You said in the beginning, all of you, Karthikeyanji, as well as Krishnan, that it is Tamil Nadu which has already 51% gross enrollment ratio. In the new education policy, it talks about making India 50%. The target is already achieved by Tamil Nadu. So you must have a higher target. Why not 75%? Why not 80% GR to be there? Number one. Number two, the government is talking about 5 trillion economy in the next couple of years and 10 trillion economy by the end of this decade. And Tamil Nadu has already thought about 1 trillion economy in this same period. So 1/10 the contribution of the whole country coming from one state is a tall order, challenge, and I'm sure it is certainly possible thanks to the quality of education that is there imparted, the way seriousness with which institutions, both self-financed as well as government, are acting in Tamil Nadu. I have come to at least graduation ceremonies and convocations in many colleges, which are top-grade colleges here in Tamil Nadu. And I have found 2 things. Number one, the rank holders, gold medalists, although the strength of the girl students in the college may be 30%, but the number of gold medals earned are 70%. The true women empowerment is visible, not only in Tamil Nadu, but I have found it in all over the country. So I think the real use of this woman power, we always talk about manpower, woman power in the nation building is very, very significant and important, and things are changing. Now today, we have a large number of student startups from out of women candidates. There was a time when Smart India Hackathon was started by AICT about 4.5 years ago. A team of 6 students have to give a solution to the problem statement of the government from the industry. We found most of them were boys' teams. So we said, unless there is at least one female, one girl student, team will not be accepted as a valid team at all. whereas all 6 members being women were allowed. And that's how, by promoting that, we found huge intellectual input into the creation of new knowledge in terms of innovation has started happening. And there are several awards which AICT started instituting in the last 4 years, starting with Chhatra Vishwakarma Award, for the student projects. We also have awards for best teachers, Vishwesvaraya Best Teacher Awards. The campuses have to be green, campuses have to be smart, campuses have to be clean. And therefore, clean, green, and smart campus awards, which we started, which will also help us in understanding what is that green all about, what it means to be clean so that atmosphere in the campus will become better, how measurement is to be done so that we know where we are lacking and how do we correct it. And that's why smartness in that. And this is very useful for our smart cities project. Anything that we are doing in the state or the country, we require manpower who know all of this. And if they have the first-hand experience from the campus itself, they will be able to do better in the life. And that's why these awards, each one of them have significance, one for the institution level, one for the faculty level, and one for the student level. So the important stakeholders, the students, the faculty, and the institutions are taken care of by providing opportunities to showcase their talent. And again, I'm coming back here that the Tamil Nadu is the state from where large number of people will apply, and even the number of awards that go are also 1/5 to the Tamil Nadu state. And that means there is huge potential. So don't be within yourself. As rightly pointed out, you can create a ripple effect in the neighboring states. Why in the neighboring states alone? All over the country as well as across the globe. And that opportunity has to be made. And therefore, this particular 2 days event, which AIMO is doing, is very, very significant for all students and faculty members to have a lot of lessons to be learned. On one side, okay, 2,000 students are going to be given job. When 1,30,000 students are graduated every year from this state, this 2,000, that way is a small number. But we should not feel that these are small numbers. Each one of these 2,000 students also have the potential to create their own entrepreneurial journey and startup, maybe not necessarily in the beginning, may take some time, settle down a little bit, 1 or 2 years, have experience from the industry and then start off. But to make it happen right from day one, we have this internship program. We were talking about internships. I think internships are very important. All said and done, in the college and university environment, we get a lot of knowledge, a lot of information, which is mostly theoretical in nature. We do have experiments in the laboratories, but these are all tables-top experiments, small-scale experiments. And some of the students who have done a steam power plant experiment, when they go to an actual power plant, they see the magnitude of difference. The simple thing like we know about cooling tower. There may be of this much size in the laboratory. They think cooling tower is of 0.5 meter, 1 meter. But when they see in the plant, actually the cooling tower, you have to look like a Qutub Minar. And then they will understand that there is a lot of difference in the theoretical and laboratory experiment side on one side and the actual industry practices. And that's why going into industry to have experiential learning is important. Project-based learning is important. How we will allow students to have multidisciplinary projects. It's not unidisciplinary, because today no product is unidisciplinary. You take, for example, computer, an automotive vehicle, a spacecraft. In each one of them, there are technologies which are related with what we call civil engineering, electrical, metallurgy, mechanical, electronics, computer science, even management, even humanities and social sciences. And therefore, under new education policy where we talk about holistic education and multidisciplinary education, multidisciplinary research, universities are the places where we have to embed all of this. And I'm sure Anna University has already started to do many of these things. My best wishes to Anna University. And the word industry institute interaction, which I have been listening from my graduation days 45 years ago also. We should shed this word. We should leave this interaction business, not coming here on the platform, sitting together 2 hours, giving some talk, lectures, going away, and remember that industry only at the time of placement and start inviting them, or even industry to remember an institution for employing graduates to come to the campuses. But it must be constant interaction, and therefore instead of calling it as an interaction, let us start calling it as collaboration and partnership. Unless we think that we are wed together in a partnership, in a family we are wedding and then we come together and our children will become successful. Similarly, when industry and institutions, they partner, then our students will become very, very successful. They will be employable, they will be entrepreneurial, they will create wealth for the nation, and I'm sure we will create a very humane and good quality of society, which is very, very important. And that's why some other schemes which AICT is running is very, very fundamental. We have talked about student induction program. Every student, when he enters an institution, comes from different backgrounds. Someone comes from rural area, someone from urban area, someone from Tamil, Marathi, Kannada, Hindi medium, someone from English medium, someone from a rich family, someone from a very poor family. How do you integrate all of them and give an indication that everyone has some positive thing in them? Something is missing in each one of us. No one is perfect, but something is known to me which others do not know, and others know something which I do not know, and that is where the spirit of collaboration will begin. They will start helping each other, and the spirit of coming together, helping each other will begin. And that's one area which is very significant. And why are we not innovative? We dealt with in great detail and found that our question papers right from KG at the age of 3-4 to PG at the age of 25 are mostly based on memory, rote learning. And unless the type of question papers change involving not only memorizing something fine, some formula you must remember. Tables we must remember, because these days I find many a times 13 into 7, if you ask, they cannot say that, they will have to see the calculator. But that is important. But at the same time, you must understand what is that topic, foundations, principles behind that. Where do you apply? Therefore, critical thinking, analytical ability. How do you bring it into the examination question paper? Then they will start doing that activity. Otherwise, they will be happy with scoring 80%, 90% marks. And when they go to interview, as rightly pointed out again by Dr. Krishnan and others, that they are actually found to be totally blank. And the question is asked, they will say, we know about this theory, formula, but where is it applied? How is it applied? Why is it applied? Please don't ask. Neither our teachers know it or we also don't know. I think we have to move away from that, and that's why we have made a 8-module teacher certification program mandatory for all teachers when they enter into the profession. There are all variety of activities which a teacher has to do in the life cycle of the teacher. He has to start with that. Whether you liked the profession and came, or without that also you have come, you have to now find your groove into that and then learn those practices. And then make your life as a teacher a successful teacher. You have to empower your students. That is the role that is to be played by the teachers, whether it is from school or high school or any type of education. And that's why this faculty certification program, which we have derived, taking clue from best teachers from the country, IITs, IISc, has become one of the finest modules which many countries of the world are looking. There is no teacher certification program for higher education anywhere in the world. For teaching in the schools, you have D.Ed, B.Ed, etc. But for teaching in a college or a university, you don't require anything. You require only master's degree or a PhD degree in a very focused area, and you even cannot connect the dots. How is the relationship between maybe economics to our engineering, some particular subject? And that is why these faculty development programs as well as faculty certification program have become very useful. My appeal is all the 500-odd colleges of Anna University, many of them do attend our programs regularly. I'm very happy, delighted. But if someone is missing you please promote them also to join the bandwagon so that we create the next generation which is very, very stable and very good for the country and the world at large. Thank you very much. Vanakkam, namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for sharing various valuable inputs.
On behalf of the Consortium of Self-Financing Colleges, Mr. Dr. Selvaraj, Secretary, wanted to facilitate the guests on the dais. Few minutes.
Sir, thank you. May I request Professor Anil Sarasrabuddhe to facilitate organizing committee and sponsors. Now, platinum sponsors. We now invite our incubation partner, Anna University. Incubation Center. Partner, Consortium of Self-Financing Colleges in Tamil Nadu. It's now for our platinum sponsors, RMKV Group of Institutions. Institutions, Sairam Institutions, next Jaya Group of Institutions, and then we welcome PSNA College of Engineering. Then it's time to felicitate our silver sponsors, City Union Bank, Chennai Institute of Technology, SIDBI, SIDBI, felicitate Organizing Committee, Professor Velraj. Shri K.E. Raghunathan. Mr. Ramesh Dugar. Dr. Harish Mehta. Mr. Radhakrishnan. Dr. M.S. Srinivasan. Mr. Sudhagar. Dr. Ayyakannu. Dr. Saravanan. Dr. Uma Mageshwari. Dr. Kumaresan. Mrs. C.A. Varalakshmi Balaji. Mr. Suresh Radhakrishnan. May I now request the audience to stand up for national anthem. Sorry, please take your seat. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues but the parent of all the others. Hence, I request Mr. Ramesh Dugar, Chairman, All India Manufacturers Organization, for oath of thanks here.
Respected Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICT, Shri Sunil Bartwal, Secretary, Minister of Labour and Employment, Mr. Krishnan, Additional Chief Secretary, Industries Department, Dr. Karthikeyan, Principal Secretary, Higher Education, distinguished leaders, participants, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I sincerely thank all the speakers for instantly accepting our invitation to grace this occasion and share their valuable thoughts today. It is with a deep sense of appreciation of your spontaneous offer in the efforts to mold the next generation of potential industrialists, businessmen to be non-Mudalavan. Your thoughts have enlightened not only their mind, but also ours, and have shown us a new path. The speech was highly motivating and encouraging. I thank Professor Velraj, Chairman Advisory Committee, for his inspiring mentorship, Mr. Raghunathan and the administration in general for providing us with all logistic support towards organizing this event. On behalf of AMO and on my own behalf, I once again thank the Chief Guest, Chairman of Advisory and Organizing Committee, whose invaluable support had made this event a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the audience to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे